Hey pilot, welcome to launching. This is the long overdue video of the medical kit I put together after talking with Bill Beninati. I'm not a medical professional, this is not medical advice, standard disclaimer stuff. But if you are, or you have outdoor survival training and think there are things that could be added to this on top of what Bill said, leave it in the comments and I'm sure the rest of the community will benefit from that. Not a whole lot else to this one, so if you're ready, let's get to it. All right, the first thing we got to do is get rid of all this computer business. Oh no, a mouse. Today's video is sponsored by no one. No one knows this channel exists yet, so there's that. But I had this bag lying around, and here's all the stuff. Let's start with a couple of things off first. Hydration. Mostly what I was looking for in this was the contents in terms of sodium, calcium, magnesium, potassium, these sorts of things that are really important for hydration. I found some other things, but this was bang for the buck, kind of where it was. I have some Noon. It's good stuff, but what I didn't like about it was that as this rattles around your bag for a long time, what you end up with is a bunch of shards and pieces, and the last thing I want to do is try to fix together some sort of discombobulated thingamajig while I'm out in the field trying to help someone. Next down the list, after you got your hydration out of the way, was a SAM splint, and this is really a nifty idea. It is a thin piece of aluminum wrapped in a flexible foam. So it takes whatever shape you last give it. And you can use this for a splint. And there's plenty of videos on the internet to show it. I'm gonna flatten this puppy down a little bit. And I'm gonna call that good. Next piece of kit. Garmin InReach. This isn't gonna go in the bag. This is gonna go on my flight deck where I can see it and access it. It's gonna be hooked in so I don't lose it. Very important. Next, I'm not gonna go very far without duct tape. There's not a whole lot here, but yeah, you'll never know when you might need that. I will end up throwing this box cutter in there because that's a very useful tool and it's very inexpensive and very light. Just in case the knife on my multi-tool doesn't work. Now this is a Leatherman Juice CS4, but I got this 16 years ago and so I don't know if it's still made anymore. And while I keep the blade fairly sharp, having this extra blade is really not a big penalty. That is my Vario and does not go in my medical kit. Come on, dude. This is the compression bandage that he was showing for trauma wounds. And there's instructions on the back, but what he talks about compressing on the last fold has to do with this little plastic doohickey, which is included in here and which I can feel in the packaging. That's pretty nifty. Here's something I hope I don't ever have to use is a tourniquet. And for obvious reasons, or maybe not obvious reasons, I don't know. If you apply a tourniquet to an appendage, first off, you should mark the time. So I'll be putting a Sharpie in here, another permanent marker. There's one. You should put the time that you apply the tourniquet so that medical professionals know what they're in for. And yeah, the tourniquet is not something to be taken too lightly. As a matter of fact, I felt pretty heavy. You'll put this around someone's leg, you'll tighten that strap, and then you'll use this to turn and turn. And this twists a ribbon, and that ribbon runs inside of this strap, and it shortens the strap and slowly constricts the limb that's bleeding profusely that you can't stop. And when you get it really tight and you can no longer feel blood pulsing on the other side of the on the far side of the tourniquet, and you slide that sucker in there, close that off, grab your permanent marker, and write what time you did this. This is clearly a thing of last resort. You should get training before you use this. But there's that. Quick Clot combat gauze. This was something in the last video you saw me doing the Z fold. Go back to that video and watch if you need more info on that. But it's very small, it's very light. Honestly, I expected it to be bigger, but here we are. Stop bleeding 5x faster than something it probably claims on the rear. And then one of the last things, and this is why you go through your kit beforehand, is so you don't have to cut that when you're trying to help someone, is this adventure medical kit. Nothing in there. And this is a waterproof container. It's just a Ziploc bag, and it contains a whole host of things that you'll see as I listed on the screen there. This is repair tape for a glider. This is not a first aid thing. But yeah, there you have it. I'm going to put it in this for now, unless of course I can find a way to make a bag. But currently the sewing machine's up in Seattle. And really, that's the long and short of it. Not a too complicated medical kit. Without proper medical training, it's difficult to have enough to be prepared, because in most situations, you are the best tool you have. So while this isn't exhaustive by any stretch, it might be good for those of us who don't have proper medical training, but might just want to be able to help someone should this situation arise. Now, I know someone's going to come on and say, you shouldn't be carrying a tourniquet if you don't know how to use one. And that's true. I will say it's probably better to have one than to not, although I'll probably lose that argument too. But I'll throw out there that I will be pursuing some sort of outdoor survival first responder, wilderness first responder training in the near future. So hopefully I don't need a tourniquet before that type of training takes place. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, blah, blah, blah. Have fun, be safe, and I'll see you in the sky.